everyone. So I am here today, mostly, and Marshmallow has joined me yet again. So here's Marshmallow. Yes, I'll be kicking him off my lap momentarily. Yeah, so Ina was a little sick last week with some kind of sinus congestion, head cold type thing. And whatever she had, she gave it to my husband and me. And I've been pretty sick all weekend long, so I'm going to do our live today, but I do apologize if I am not as peppy as normal. I just don't have the energy today. If you missed it, Tina has been working on her Christmas pudding hat, and that Christmas pudding hat is free through Christmas Eve. So you can find that on Ravelry or blacksheepfiberemporium.com. We do love it when you go shop at blacksheepfiberemporium.com because it means that we can share fun things with you. And it helps us to support our own fiber hobbies and passions and bring more fun things to you. So anyway, I'm sorry, Mello, but I don't need you right now. He's very loving today. So anyway, just bear with me. Like I said, I've been sick all weekend. I've had a sore throat and the earache and the headache, and I'm feeling better today, but I still definitely don't feel 100%. So anyway, I'm not going to be very peppy, but we're going to talk through all the things that we need to talk through. If you remember, today we are doing Mediterranean lace versus Babila, which is another form of Mediterranean knotted lace, but it's not the lace portion. It's a little more close and filled in, and it's usually used to make floral designs. So we're going to take a look at that today. And we did get in the book shipment. You are just very insistent, sir. We did get in the book shipment, which Tina has, of Elena's books. So we do have both the Babila and the Mediterranean Knotted Lace available at the shop to be mailed out to you if you're interested in either one of these books. I think I have 4 of these and 6 of these. So those are now available. You can look them up on the website at blacksheepfiberemporium.com, and they're very affordable books. I think they're $18 and $20. They're very affordable books. So anyway, oh, what else do I need to remind you about? Oh, this is the last month for your year of self-care. So make sure that you are posting to social media with the hashtag BSFE or hashtag blacksheepfiberemporium, because I do look at those at the end of the month. We will pull one more monthly winner. And then next year, remember, we are switching over to our blanket along with the Pearly Shell Pirates, which you can make into either a temperature blanket or not. We're embracing knitting, crochet. I suppose if you wanted, you could tat your blanket. That would be fun. Or I think Tina is also going to do an embroidered version. So you could do an embroidered version of your blanket as well. So we're trying to be just like really flexible with the whole concept and invite everybody to join us. We will have a couple of free patterns that you can use if you would like to knit or crochet your blanket. I am still trying to decide what I want to use. I have darny. I have lots of darny, so I could use that. Or I have the Mian, which is a lovely cotton, so I might use that. I haven't really made a decision yet. And I have blueberry tea, thanks to my friends over at Pearly Shell, because I also have a terrible habit of buying roving from Heather. And she sends a little dab of tea sometimes when I get my shipments. And anyway, so I am having blueberry tea today and trying not to spill it anywhere. So that's my goal. Anyway, yeah, this is my lovely warm blueberry tea. And it's not bad. But yeah, so my throat is definitely still sore. I definitely have like congestion all up in my sinuses. I can feel it. And you know, it is what it is today. I'm a little bit tired, I'm a little bit sick, and I'm still here just to say hi to you all and talk about Mediterranean knotted lace. So let's get into our discussion today. The biggest difference between the lace and the figural portion, that's how I think of it, in this art form, is that you use a single knot and use a double knot. And then there's some other things. I mean, clearly we're making shapes over here. We're trying to mimic nature. In this one, we are going for more of an open look, hence the single knots. And we're going for more of a lace presentation. But both of these are really neat art forms, and I just wanted to show you some quick differences between the two of them. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take my phone off of one holder, switch it to the next. I can tell you that one of the things that I really love about knotted lace, and tatting for that matter, is that this bag is about 3 times as large as what I really need to hold a project. So I have enough thread and needles and things in here to work on like 5 or 6 projects at one time. I'm not doing that, but I could because it doesn't take much. That's one of the beautiful things about both tatting and knotted lace, is that it takes very little: a needle, a ball of thread, and some scissors, and you're pretty well good to go. So anyway, I just wanted to point out it's a very compact art form. All right, so bear with me as we flip. And I try not to, oh good. All right, not to shut my live feed off. Okay, so I actually have 2 little samples started right here. I have, and then I have, these are super snips. We have these for sale. They're like $3. They're fabulous because they have these little covers. Highly recommend them. I love mine. I use them all the time. I have several pairs of them now because I like them so much. Anyway, I have 2 little pieces that are started here. So this one is actually made out of, they're both made out of Olympus. One is made out of the size 40 that comes in the little boxes like this guy. So this one's actually a thinner size, but it comes in the little boxes labeled as the tatting lace yarn. And then this is the other one, this one over here, the lighter blue, is out of this special gold number 40 that I am testing out for tatting and knotted lace. I've already used the white, but I wanted to get a colored version of it just to play with it and see if I liked it. Oops, sorry. If I liked it any better or worse than the other Olympus that we carry. And actually, I really like this one. But I digress. This is a little sample that I started from the center out that uses single knots. This is a little sample that I started in a tube that uses the double knots. And you can very clearly see that my knots are much larger on my tube as opposed to this center start right here. But one of the things that I wanted to show you with my center start was I'm very close to the end of my thread, and I wanted to show you what you can do if you need to as you get close to the end of your thread. You can actually tie your thread to your needle with just a very simple knot so that you can do 1 or 2 more loops. Now, that's one little trick to get just a little more use out of your thread. Another little trick is identifying where your carry up loop is. Now, we don't think of the carry up loop as a loop for counting purposes, but it's necessary to maintain the integrity of your work. Each time you use the carry up loop, which is actually right here, and I'll show you how to identify it. Each time you use this carry up loop, what happens is your start of your round moves one loop to the right. So with these carry up loops, they're used to bridge up into the next round so you can continue to work in a spiral around your center. So identifying your carry up loop. The easiest way to identify your carry up loop is to look at your base loop right here and find the loop that suddenly jumps. And what I mean by that is if you look at where our knots are, well, actually I've passed my carry up loop. Hang on. I set this down and I was going to show you, and then I think I moved it. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, I guess I passed my carry up loop. Here's my carry up loop right here. So here was the last knot that I made right here on this round. And then you can see that my yarn goes from this knot up into a loop. So this was my carry up loop right here. This is my carry up loop section. See if I can identify it from the opposite side now. Let's see, where did you go? Carry up loop. Why am I having so much trouble with this? Sorry guys, I really am. I've been, like I said, sick all weekend. And I'm just having issues. Oh. Why am I having problems? I'm headed this. Oh, that's why, because I flipped this over. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Sorry. So let's see. Carry up loop, where'd you go? Right there. So here's my carry up loop right here. And a lot of times what I do is I take a locking stitch marker, which of course I meant to set out and then forgot. And I mark my loop. You can also use little safety pins or coilless safety pins. And hey, Cheryl, nice to chit chat with you here on Facebook. If I miss somebody's comments, I do apologize. I am looking for them to a certain extent. Anyway, so here we go. Here's just a basic safety pin. So all you're going to do is mark your carry up loop, and then you'll always know where the start of your round is. So my carry up loop was this one right here. You can see here's the knot. Here's where it goes up into the first loop. So we're going to follow that up. So carry up, carry up, carry up, carry up, carry up, carry up. Now this also goes to another thing is, how do we count our rows? Well, you count your rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, after I did 2 rows of basic loops here, I went ahead and I did an increase round. And you can see it's an increase round because there are 1, 2 knots on this loop and 1, 2 knots on this loop, and you'll find that all the way around my work. This is where I was doing two loops per loop to increase. All right, so let me show you that single knot one more time. Then we'll go and we'll look at how to add thread safely, and then we'll look at double knots. So here's our single knot. Remember, you'll take the tail of your work that's coming from your previous knot, lay it over the top of your needle, and then you're just going to bring the tail up and around. And when you pull your needle through now, what happens is it makes a figure 8 knot. And remember, if we pull to the left, it makes a small loop. If we pull to the right, it makes a big loop. So we pull straight out and nice and tight. And there we go. There's our loop, and it's locked in. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off so that I can show you how to switch threads, because we don't need this old thread anymore. We need a new thread. So I love just these inexpensive little hair barrettes, just the little snappy ones for holding your thread in place. And remember, I like to use somewhere around, a 3 to 3.5 foot, or a 1 yard to just over 1 yard thread. So I'm going to take my needle here, and I am using a Sashiko needle. I like them because they are fairly long. They have a sharp tip, but they also have a reasonably large eye. And so when I do my knotted lace, there are other needles that work beautifully. Things like tapestry needles definitely work, especially if they have a nice sharp point. Chenille needles will work. The key is that you really like to have a longer needle with a nice big eye. And the reason that I like the sharp tip is if I happen to be working my knotted lace onto a piece of fabric, it's nice to have a good tip that will pierce. Okay, so to add new thread, we are going to leave our tail sort of off to the left, and we're going to go ahead and make a knot, and we're going to make our knot to the left of the last knot that we made. So just going to ignore. Now I like to pull the tail, there we go, of my old thread through so that it is on the correct side. Pull this knot nice and tight just to the left. And now we're going to make our next loop just like we were planning to. But when we do that, we lay both the tail and our working thread over the top of our needle. And then, hang on a moment while I find the right loop. There we go. We are going to lock this in place just like so. Sorry, I was a little bit off camera there. Just like so. So this is our old thread. This is our new thread. Now we can actually cut this off, but I usually wait until I come back around to this point on the next row before cutting that off. And you won't see this double thread because you'll put a knot right here, and that knot will hide. It will hide the double thread that you have added in when you come back around to it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do my next loop. And sometimes I go ahead and I secure my tail with 2 loops. Sometimes I only do 1 loop. So just bring this figure 8 down into a nice basic loop, just like this. And now it's secured. Now when I get back around to the beginning of my latest round, the one that I'm currently working, I am going to do an increased set of loops. So let me just work. I'm very close now. Very close here. 2. All right, and now I am back around to my carry up loop. You work into the carry up loop for your final stitch and loop of the round. There we go. And then you'll move your safety pin. We're going to make our carry up loop. And again, because we want to do and increase, we're going to put our carry up loop in here. And now we are going to work a second loop into the same one. So 2 loops in one, 2 knots in one. And I don't want a really bubbly loop there. Just like that. And now we're going to work 2 loops again into the same stitch. And this is how we increase. Just like that. Lots of good stuff in this little practice piece to show you. Just like that. Now we've got our increases in. All right, and you'll continue to go around working 2 loops into each single loop so that you can increase. And then when you carry up, you'll work a single loop into each one of these all the way around, and that's how we increase our centers to make them flatter, because you'll notice this one's starting to curve a little bit. All right, so that's some information, a lot of which actually applies to your Babila, which is the flower formation. Now what I've done with this one, this is our Babila start, is I've started a tube. So I've started a tube here, and in starting the tube, I'm using double knots. And we do the same thing where we use a carry up loop to start the round. We work 1 loop per loop. I happen to have 5, but instead of doing a single knot, we do a double knot by wrapping that tail around our needle twice. Other than that, it's the same thing. It's the same motion, same counting, same kind of loop structure. It's just that we make a little bit bigger knot. So you can see this one's a little bit bigger knot than what we use with the lace. Now, one of the other things that defines this is that we tend to use a lot more pyramidal shapes, a lot more tubes with the flowers, because we are, of course, trying to make something kind of like these guys, where we are using pyramids and triangle shapes to mimic leaves and petals. So, all right, let's take a look at that. Oh, so once you have worked around, and let's do just our very first loop here. Remember, we wrap twice because now we're doing Babila, which is different. It is not lace, it is flower making. All right, so there's our knot. This was our carry up loop. This one here, this is the first loop of our round. So now we're going to just, let's see. I want to flip and work back and forth. I have 2 options here. So you can either flip and you can work back and forth. So I could turn this around and pretend this is a new row, which I think I might do. And I am going to work 2 stitches into the base of this flower petal. So here's 1, and then do it again. And 2. And now I have an option. I can either work a straight return, which means that I am going to bring my thread back over here to this side and lay my thread over the top and make my loop here. Or I can flip back and forth. Now, most people are going to choose to do a straight return at this point, so that they can just keep working in the same direction. So I think let's go ahead and do that. So put our straight return over here. And remember, we're doing double knots because this is the Babila portion. I like to get my straight returns to where they kind of lay down a little bit. So there we go. And then you will work back to the right again. And again, we want to add stitches. So I'm going to do one loop here, and I'm making tight loops now on purpose. So tight loop there. You'll work over the straight return, so through the previous loop, under the straight return, so that you catch all of them at the same time. Okay. 2 tiny little loops. And then we're going to do it again. And again, make sure that you aren't going through this loop right here is just the straight return. So right here, this one would be just the straight return. So we want to make sure that we have gone through both the loop from the previous row and the straight return. So you're catching both at the same time. There we've got 3. So I know it's hard to see, but there's 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, 3 loops. And we're going to do it again. So we'll bring our thread back over like so. Oops, I unwrapped it. There we go. Okay. And here you can see I'm starting to pull this is the straight return. This is my stitch. I'm going to bring it all the way over as far as I can get it to the side here. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to go in this one. Let's see if I can. And remember, we're using double knots. We're using double knots on purpose. So I'm trying to do this under the camera, which is a little bit hard. Double knot. Let's loop 2. Okay, now we're going to do three. One more time. And remember, again, we are trying to make sure that we catch both of the loops here. So the loop and the return loop. The basic loop below and the return loop, not just the return loop. There we go. So now we've got 4, and see how we're building our petal out? So this is how we build our petal out. Straight returns and loops across. See if that'll come into focus a little bit better. So that is the difference kind of between, where'd it go? The single knot that we have been using for lace and these double knots that we have been using for the Babila. So hopefully you can kind of see the much smaller knots here and the much larger knots over here. All right, well, that was fun. I'm gonna flip the camera back around and try not to lose anyone, so bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. All right, so I really like Mediterranean knotted lace and tatting. Again, I love that, you know, basically I can just walk around with like this much stuff in a little bag in my purse, and I have a project all the time. It just doesn't take much. You know, there's some little things that are nice to have, like, you know, little safety pins, you know, a needle threader. And I'm actually testing this stuff out. This is Thread Magic. I think this used to go by another name called Thread Heaven. But I got some to test because all of my tatters told me this was really good stuff. So I'm using this as a kind of a coating on my thread to try it out. Excuse me. So anyway, I had more planned to share with you about Mediterranean Knotted Lace versus Babila today, but I'm just still a little too sick and a little too tired. But hopefully by the time we get back to weaving with this super cute little clover mini loom on Wednesday, I will be feeling a lot better. At least that's the plan, because it is a super cute little clover mini loom and I want to show you all how to use it. Of course, I have to teach myself how to use it first. I know how to weave though, so I'm already a step up. Anyway, what else do I need to tell you about? I can't even think. All right, guys, if you are looking for the books, we do have these in stock right now, December 2021 at Black Sheep Fiber Emporium. I think I have 4 of these left and 6 of these left. So I have both these books if you're looking for them. I can tell you that we are going to be doing a very special 12 days of Christmas discounts in the lead up right before Christmas. And those will be posted to Facebook, Instagram, the front page of the web page if I get it done right, as well as our newsletter. So if you have not yet subscribed to the newsletter for Black Sheep Fiber Emporium, please go make sure that you have done that. You can find the newsletter subscription on our website. Don't forget to also subscribe to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Instagram channel, and our TikTok channel, because we post stuff different places all the time. Tina is working on the really cute little advent from Japan, and so she's been putting up those videos. And in addition to that, she's talking about different Christmassy stuff that she's doing, so cookies and decorating and things like that. And along with that, we do have the Christmas pudding hat, which is free all the way through Christmas Eve. You can find it on Ravelry or blacksheepfiberemporium.com. And in addition to that, we have kits, very inexpensive kits. I think one hat is like a $15 kit. 2 hats are $28. So really inexpensive kits, and they're fast. They work up really fast. So if you're looking for just sort of something a little bit fun, a little bit different, maybe even a white elephant gift, because I think it would be really funny to do that. Anyway, the Christmas pudding hat is adorable, and it's available now. If you already have yarn in your stash, like I said, the pattern's free all the way through Christmas Eve. And if you'd really like to grab a kit, you can find those at blacksheepfiberemporium.com. Yeah, keep making your things. Take care of yourselves. Hopefully better than what I have taken care of myself. Because again, boy, I have been sick. I have been very sick. Like I didn't even really knit on Saturday. I laid on the couch. Yeah, I laid on the couch. Ina just got to watch whatever she wanted and eat whatever she wanted because I had no energy to properly take care of her. So anyway, it has been what it has been, and I don't want it to be like that again, at least not for a while. So take care of yourself, please, physically, mentally, emotionally, and craftfully. I feel a lot better today, as evidenced by the fact that I didn't cancel my live, and I actually, I created this whole center earlier today, as well as the little tube, and I'm working on a knitting project as well. So anyway, yeah, I'm feeling much better. But until Wednesday, when I see you all again, and don't forget that next week we're doing more fun stuff. I always put the events up on Facebook, so if you are wondering what's coming up, you can find us through our Black Sheep Fiber Emporium page and the events there. And I do try to put these lives up on YouTube as quickly as I can. So I will go see if I can't get this downloaded and posted to YouTube today. In the meantime, if you're looking for something fun, like I said, follow our YouTube channel. Tina's putting up a video, I think, every day, all the way up until Christmas, with something Christmassy and Adventy. So anyway, until Wednesday, take care of yourselves.